Hello and welcome to this Derby and Nottingham Sling Library demonstration of how to breastfeed a little one in a close Caboo Lite. This is being recorded because it's been asked for a demonstration of this. So as you can see, I have little one already securely in the close Caboo, um, as put on in the other demonstration in the videos. So this video is specifically looking at breastfeeding positions in the sling. So to start with, what we will do is we will remove this third layer piece by untying it from around and pop that to one side. And there are two ways to either feed in a sling. One is in a vertical position and one is changing to a cradled horizontal position in either direction. So to feed in a vertical position, what we do is release the rings off slightly each side, just to give us that little bit more space. We can then pop our hands inside the carrier to support and maneuver little one down with their hand, their head, and they can then feed in a vertical position. And this can be done onto either breast. Slide them across to feed on the other side. Feeding in slings is not completely hands-free. As you can see, I still have one hand on supporting little one because we've taken that third layer off and we have released some of the tension, some of the support in it. This is why we still have one hand on to support them, which leaves you one hand free to help them attach or detach their latch or get on with anything else that you need to do. Once little one has finished active feeding, they may have fallen asleep. What we would then do is monitor them in that position very closely, ensuring that they've still got two fingers between the chin and their chest to keep that airway open. Or we can then return them to the central position, lifting them up slightly again and resecuring tight on both sides, and checking their airway into the position. And we would then put that third layer back on and around to secure everything into place. Or we could take them out completely. So your three options after active feeding are keep them in place and monitor closely, remove completely, or return to the central upright position. So that was feeding in a vertical position, and what we'll now do is show you feeding in a horizontal cradle position. So what we would do is remove that third layer that we have already done. We will then drop one shoulder of the outer layer down. So little one is now just in the inner layer. We then, if we are feeding onto this side, we would reach across with the opposite hand to the breast that you're going to feed on, reach across underneath, going underneath their bum, inside the sling, collect their leg and move them diagonally across into a cradled position. So the fabric on this bottom rail sits into the back of both knees and they are sitting in a diagonal cradled position. We can tighten the sling up to give a little bit of support. We've got one hand underneath supporting round the breast. The top hand can come in over the top of the breast and little one has got support. This carrier at this point takes the most of their weight, but this hand and arm is here just to give some support to little one. They can then feed. You have one free hand to help them attach or detach their latch and then get on with anything else that you want to be able to do. You can put this second layer back up onto your shoulder, which gives you a little bit more support. and that just sits underneath and supports their torso slightly and goes back up onto your shoulder. You're checking that you've got good eye contact with them while feeding. Don't be tempted to pull this layer over the back of their head, because that means they would then be unable to detach and pull away if there is a fast flow of milk, or they are struggling to swallow the quantity of milk that they have. So once they've finished active feeding again, what we would then do is drop this second layer again and return to this central position, or take them out completely, or monitor closely. A hand inside, up, central position. It's that fabric back diagonally between their legs again, and then pull that second layer back up and spread that pass over their body again. And then add that third layer back in and tighten as you need to. So that was feeding on to this side. If you wanted to feed onto the other side, what we would do is again remove this outer layer, and with the opposite hand that we would be feeding onto the side that we are feeding, reach underneath, collect their legs, and their head is going to sit underneath this pass. I'm going to adjust my little one's head to feed on this side. So this is going diagonally across their body, supporting their bum and up to their shoulder. And you can see that they've got a good, clear airway and a good line of sight to the feed. We can tighten up accordingly. And they are here supported. Bottom hand is underneath the breast, top hand is over the top, and they can feed. Again, we can take this second layer that we had, again going into the back of the knees this time, and gives them that little bit more support. We can spread it over a little if we want to. So their head is free, so that they can detach if they wish. Your arm is in to give them that little bit of support, and it means you can monitor their feed closely. We would then return them back to the central position. Again, drop this second layer. We're putting hands underneath, get their legs diagonal, and the layer of fabric goes diagonally over their body. And we then pop this second layer back up as we did before. And then ensure the fabric is spread from knee pit to knee pit, giving them the support. And again, if we need to, we can tighten up. And at this point, we would then put that third layer back on and do all the safety checks and pelvic tilts that we will have done previously. So, pop the third layer back round. So this is a demonstration of feeding in a sling with a close Caboo Lite.